I know my kids are excited. I want them to see what this means.
Yes, okay.
And you've been feeling good movements?
Yes.
I want them to know what it means to sacrifice for somebody. And not to be sad that, what they thought could have been their brother or sister in some way, it's not. I want them to be happy because, their mom had sacrificed her body for someone else.
I can't believe we only have 2 more weeks.
How are y'all feeling?
3 weeks.
Like, how are y'all?
We're ready.
We're ready.
Okay.
He's gonna look like you.
Yeah, that's my nose.
I think so.
Maybe it was just squished.
Maybe so. I love this.
It'll get dirty quick.
I'm gonna show you how pretty. It says handpicked for Earth by my brother in heaven. I love it. It's perfect. Thank you again. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for our sound. Mason, do you mind just giving me a clap?
A clap.
We became friends first, and then we started dating from there. He never actually asked me to be his girlfriend. He went straight to asking me to be his wife.
Yep. More than anything in life was finding the right person, number one, and letting the Lord lead me to Savannah. But then at the same time, like knowing that when we got married, we were destined to be parents, and I was destined to be a dad.
I had liver disease. I was born with biliary atresia. So the reality of me actually having a child was very unknown. I was told early on that I may not even be able to get pregnant one day. It's a funny story. Mason actually went to school with Olivia's husband.
William and I dated like the same high school sweetheart, and so really William didn't really care for me for a while.
Mason had planned their high school reunion.
Oh yeah.
And I was sitting across from Olivia at the table, and I said, you might be taking care of my baby soon in the NICU. And she looked at me and she's like, what? She goes, wait, are you pregnant?
We just had a twin admission a few hours ago. Everyone's telling me to sit down and stop moving, but it's kind of hard when you got a day like today.
Does it take any extra motivation to come into work?
When you have 3 kids, not really, because either way you're working. Well, I graduated in 2010 from nursing school. I came here. I wanted to do labor and delivery, and they needed NICU. So I said, okay, let me just get my foot in the door and do NICU. 8, okay, so your head ultrasound will be in 2 days, okay. I'd never in a million years thought I would be working with neonatal babies. But once I got here, got in the NICU, saw what it was like, saw that I actually was capable of doing that, I never looked back. So where do we need this? That one works.
Don't pick that up.
Mason and his wife, Savannah, got married, but I didn't really know her that well. I knew Mason from Abundant Life and from just the community. Like, we just all kind of knew each other. Fast forward to her ending up here at Ochsner at the end of one of my shifts. I didn't even know she was having complications.
There was a Monday in June. We went for my 17-and-a-half-week checkup. And at that point, they saw that it looked like he had spina bifida. And then they also thought he had a diaphragmatic hernia, which caused his organs to go into his chest. They say, okay, you need to go in for an emergency ultrasound tomorrow. We found out that our child was not going to survive. I went to the hospital. I got sent to triage here at Ochsner on O'Neill, and they saw an ultrasound then that I was actually actively contracting, and I went into labor. And I looked over at my sister and I said, you know, I wonder if Olivia's working. And I didn't even have her phone number. We messaged her on Facebook.
She was here in the hospital and she wanted to see me. And so I went to triage right down the hall, and I was like, why are you here? What are you doing here? Mason actually started saying what was wrong with Reese. It was emotional, because I knew the second he started rolling the diagnosis off his tongue, I was like, okay, you're telling me your baby's not gonna live. So that was a rough night for them, for sure.
He actually passed away as I gave birth. At the time, I think I was in such shock that this actually was happening.
Yeah.
It was a huge shock.
It was. It's still something that we feel every single day.
Tell us about the day in church where you volunteered to become a surrogate.
This was about maybe 3 weeks.
3 weeks after I had Reese.
We kind of looked at each other like we really didn't want to get out and go to church just yet, but you know, we thought it would be a good idea.
I went and found them after church, and I hugged her and asked her how she was doing.
I looked at her, I said, I'm having a really hard time.
Yeah.
But we are going to speak with this couple tomorrow about surrogacy.
When she said that, I got really excited. I wouldn't say this to anyone if I didn't mean it, but it just came out that I said, I'll have your baby. And she just looked at me with this complete and utter shock and surprise.
I said, no, like, this is something we're really considering. Please don't just say that, you know. And she said, no, like, this is something that I've always wanted to do, and I will carry your baby for you.
Yeah.
So I turned around and I grabbed Mason on the arm, and he looked at me and I said, she offered to do this. And Mason just started sobbing.
Yeah, I broke down.
It's one of those moments you got chills. You just knew what you were doing was supposed to happen. Knowing what these amazing people have gone through, they deserve a kid. They are gonna be the best parents in the whole world, and they're gonna love him more than anything. And I don't know, I can't describe it as more than just like a dream come true.
You guys, come on in. Oh, it's good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Let's go for the hug.
Yeah, come for the hug. Oh, come on in.
He's taking a nap. Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Willie.
Say hi.
That's something I tell her. I'm like, you know, we are infinitely connected to her and to her family.
100%.
And I can't thank her enough for doing something I can't do for our family. And that's to give us a healthy baby. Hey, Brooks, this is your brother. This is your blue butterfly Reese. Yeah, this is him. We love him, Mom. He helped us get you. I've been having empty arms for the last year and a half, and I'm sorry. Like, they're not empty anymore. Like, I feel full. I feel complete. And even though we still grieve our son, Reese, like, Brooks has brought so much peace back into my heart, and I needed that.